Considering how much this series delves into the near future, simulation experiences, data transfer through time, rented bodies, and all the chaos and brilliance in between, how does a work like this alter your perception of your own reality in your day-to-day actions? Do you fear it a bit more because you've gotten a taste of what the future may hold, or are you able to stay in the present a little bit more?
I never fear the future. Yeah, I just choose to be really optimistic about it and excited. I think there's so many cool things. I was thinking just the other day how it's really simple, but like I took a picture of something and how like the new upgrade on the phone now like is like so smart that like we can now just like the photo is interactive, we can access links and all that stuff. I took a screenshot and I was like, yo, like we literally live in the future. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are like many like dark things happening, but like there always has been in like throughout the history of humanity, you know what I mean? So I just choose to be optimistic. And no, the show just makes me excited about all the things that we could do and all the possibilities. I think it's really exciting.
Yeah, I think Gary and I like slightly differ on this. From we've known each other a long time. Gary and I, we went to drama school together, and we reunited on this show. And I think having 3 children and like watching their interaction with technology and like how it differs from my own childhood, that slightly like wrecks my head. But equally, I try really hard to have like a similar attitude to that Gary has, and just sort of embrace it and go with it and understand it. But I personally find it really hard to keep up with it so that I understand enough about it, because what I don't want to do as a parent is like, or even just with myself, is like withhold myself from understanding and getting involved so that like I evolve and they evolve with what's happening. But like, I don't know about you guys, but I just find it, where's the fine line between what's helpful and what's detrimental? I think that's really tricky. It's a bit like, all the other things in life, things that people think are totally safe for us, and then they're like, oh, turns out it's not. It's like smoking in the 1950s. People were like, it's really great. And then like 50 years later, they're like, turns out it completely destroys your lungs. I worry like, turns out this stuff completely ruins your ability to create new neural pathways that help your body deal with like stress or whatever. I don't know. Equally, so I'm slightly less optimistic.
Yeah. There's there's a lot of ideas. There's even a lot of quotes in here that are said where they just kind of send you down a rabbit hole. So do these themes create a bigger hunger for knowledge for you? Like, is it causing you to ask more questions, go down odd research rabbit holes? Like, how has your mind expanded since doing this?
I don't know about you, but I have a brain that, like, if I think about the expansiveness of the universe, just my heart starts going, oh God. And if I think about the expansiveness of technology and the fact that like how it feels like things are speeding up so quickly, that like my brain goes, how is the human body going to evolve quick enough to like keep up with human invention? That's kind of what worries me when you look. I was watching The English, the BBC drama the other day with Emily Blunt, flipping fantastic, by the way, if you've not watched it. And I was watching that and just looking at like, that's like set in 1890. That's crazy when they're like all on horseback. And now you think only like 130 years later, and when it's like, how is that even like humanly possible? I think that, I mean, it does trigger me, but it triggers me not in the best way. But maybe I should do exactly what you said and just do a little bit more research and less panicking.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Gary's like, ha, let's all watch Charlotte have
I'm the opposite to Charlotte. It gets me excited. I'm an explorer. I'm a very curious person. So I'm always asking, before this series, I was always asking those questions anyway. I was like, but how and when and what if? I'm always like, what ifing all the time.
But we could all end up like, it's Connor, right? Who wants to live in the peripheral like the entire time. We could all end up like him, just like hooked up to stuff.
That's better than getting old.
Like our bodies become entirely useless and it's just entirely in our minds.
Well,
what's the point then? What's
our
the
bodies
point
become useless eventually anyway.
fight. Go on, Gary. Sorry, what are you going to say?
No, I mean, if I get to like 90 years old, I wouldn't mind jumping into a peripheral body and like, you know, being younger and like living longer. That's kind of cool. There's this whole discussion on de-aging as well, which we won't get into. I don't know if we have that time, but sorry, you probably have another question, so we'll move on.
Yeah. I could literally sit here all day about that topic, but I do want to get a little more specific about your characters. I feel like one of the series' great strengths is just how much room it gives every actor to breathe humanity into their characters, robot or not. We get to see your characters sit with their thoughts, react, process information, which is a blessing of the series format. Like, I love the facial expressions and gestures you make with your characters, such as Wilf smiling over like a brawl with the butchers, like just this little smile that he gives right at the end, and like the assuredness of Alita in every possible situation that she is in, even if it goes south. So how much thought did you put into shaping those moments that appear so in the moment and natural, or do you try not to overthink it and allow the moments to kind of steer you?
I always try not to overthink. I'm an overthinker though, but I try my best not to, because it's just not cool. But I think that I really enjoyed this project because I think the script was really strong. And one thing that excited me was that there was so much humanity in it, even though it's set in this really like heightened world and this elevated storytelling. But my whole thing as an actor is just like to make everything as believable as I can. I got slight beef with the show though, only because like you guys aren't to know this, but like, you know, we shoot a lot of stuff and there's a lot of material that doesn't make the final cut. And I was looking at the arc of my character personally, and I just think there are some things that got cut out, which I think is a shame, because it did like show a different side, or it gave him even more humanity to the character. I think Wilf is very his whole job actually is to be very still. Like, you're not really supposed to know what he's thinking or feeling at any point, and that's quite difficult to play. But there were a few moments where he did break like what we would think is like his character, and I think that's really cool, but that didn't make the show. But overall, yeah, I agree with what you said. I think there's a lot of humanity. I think everyone's doing a great job. But yeah, that was my little beef with the with this series.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would agree with Gary in the sense that like you've got to kind of not be too, well, I sort of treat it the same way you do, Gary. I try not to, like, I come with ideas, but I guess you can't hold on to it because you don't always know what I know it sounds silly, but even the set can affect what you choose to do. So you might, and absolutely what the other actors / characters are going to do, and you don't get a lot of rehearsal time, so it's not like you go in knowing what other people are going to do. So you've got to turn up with ideas and then be able to choose on the day what you're going to do, dependent upon what the other actors do with their characters and then what the director wants, and just like the feel and rhythm, because there's certain things that you just can't crowbar onto a scene because you felt good in your bedroom. So as much as we don't like to do that, I'd be like, this is my performance and you have it like this and no other way. But yeah, I think you just got to try things out and what feels good on the day. But you know, I do think that they gave us all quite a lot of free rein to swing from the fences in terms of trying. Certainly me, I mean, I'd not played a character like that before on screen, and so I really enjoyed it. That's one of the many reasons why I really wanted to do it, because I felt like I could have really good fun. And as far as I'm concerned, if you can't have fun, there's no point acting.
That's true. Well,
sorry to just don't mean that in a morbid way, just like, you know, it's the whole point of it all, isn't it?
It's good to enjoy it. Yeah.